All right, Vance, thanks for joining us here. Spring practice in the rearview mirror, and we're looking ahead to this exciting 2018 season and the move to FBS. We're about a year removed from that call from the NCAA. The excitement of that move, I know it's palpable around the fan base, but how about in the FOC?
You know, a lot of excitement. Support staff, coaches, players, janitors, you name it. I mean, everybody is on fire about this upcoming campaign.
I heard the story about when the coaches found out, when the team found out. You were in a team meeting when the NCAA call came in. And take me back to when you first heard that official word of Liberty's moving FBS.
You know, when I first heard it, I was actually tending to some business down in Houston, Texas. And I just got a phone call, actually it was from Robert Wimberly, our defense coordinator. And I'm like, holy smokes. My wife said, did I hear what I thought I heard? I said, yeah, you heard what you thought you heard. It's official now. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, wow, holy smokes. You know, because we just didn't know. That conversation has been going on for a long time, you know, even before I got here. So it was good news.
The word has always been put in, I think, to everybody around Liberty, operating like an FBS program, not just financially, but the kids you try to recruit and the style of play that Liberty does play. And now, making phone calls, I would imagine, I wouldn't say easier, but when you do pick up the phone, hey, we're Liberty, people now know what Liberty is all about. So take me into some of those conversations you have with these prospective student athletes and what those conversations are like.
Well, they like the fact that it's always about the brand and the competition, the conference, and all of those things. And now they can see, you know, they want to look at the schedule and how many of those games are actually televised. And, you know, and then also they look at who you've beat in the opener last year, Baylor University. For instance, when I go down to Texas, my hometown, Houston in particular, hey, yeah, you're the guys that knocked off Baylor. Man, hey, listen, it helps. It really does. And that was a gigantic victory for our program and the exposure we gotten and the great job ESPN did and running all those interviews and, you know, it was awesome.
It's got a lot of shelf life, and the mileage on that win is astronomical. But you have to move on from it. When did this team say, okay, we're here now. We can't compete with these Power 5 schools. We can beat them. We just did. But at the same time, you can't rest on that one game, as good as it was. Mm-hmm. When do you think that page turned once the 2017 season was over with?
You know, I think right after that game. Okay. I mean, we got a very mature staff. Our head football coach, there's quite a few of our coaches have coached in bigger games and big games, and you know, who've coached at the FBS level or coached in the NFL. So you just kind of understand that whole deal, and I think Coach Gill knows that we're all an extension of him. So we're just trying to get the information to those kids. Once he can say it in a team setting, I think it trickles down from every group. Every coach to step forward and say, hey, listen, men, here's kind of where we're at. Because I remember being in the locker room, even for myself, as an NFL coach, and winning those big games and playing in those gigantic stadiums and, you know, playing, and it helps. So I go back and I share that information, and that's kind of what everybody's doing.
You speak of the NFL. All kids that go to college, they want to get to the league. They want to play at that highest level. How do you think this staff helps mold the players in this program to maybe have that potential and get to a pro day and impress a lot of these scouts?
Working hard, paying attention to the details, having a lot of the scouts when they come through to watch film and ask questions and building a bio, a profile on them of the kids that are going to make the next step, who are NFL prospects. So any opportunity I get, I try to, with my relationships with a lot of those NFL ties, I'll ask them to talk to my group, or Coach Gill might have them talk to the entire team, and that has value. It goes a long ways.
All right, let's just focus in on this 2018 season, the stadium expansion. Now, you're one of the few coaches that actually does your X's and O's on the field on a game day, and you get spatted up and tape the fingers and really get in that game mode here. Your favorite part of game day is what, when we ask that question to you?
You know, getting in the mood, getting excited. You know, trying to see how I can get my players lit to play the game. You know, get excited about playing the game, because as a coach, you know, during the week I'm kind of mild-mannered, you know, because I want to make sure they got all the information they need from watching film, all kind of tendencies, understanding down and distance, understanding personnel groups and what we got to do. But on game day, it's a little different. You know, it's time to go bite somebody. It's time to kind of let it rip. You know, have fun, fly around, play with a lot of emotion, play with your hair on fire. That's what game day is all about. Giving them all the information they need to be successful. You know, and the players, and I learned that being an NFL coach. It's all about, those players want to know, how can this man help me? How can my coach help me or take my game to a whole nother level? And the college kids are the same way.
How about the stadium atmosphere, the few chances you get to kind of soak it in? When is that for you on a game day?
You know, I think the day before, you know, a lot of times what we try to do, and Coach Gill is big with this, he'll try to go and zoom in, use Google Map or whatever to show them the stadium, try to give them you know, a view of where we're going, where we're going to be playing. This is over here. We're going to be on this side. And you got to do that. You really do, just to get them prepared. And then also when we get there, we may have a walkthrough.
Right.
And we might even just kind of just go there and just look around, take pictures, whatever it is, just to, you know, they've already been in there. They just not going to show up on Saturday and play the game, because they're still trying to, you know, get used to being in that setting, that environment. Yeah.
Speaking of environments, when you look out at Williams Stadium, how often do you kind of peek at the renovations and what's going on there?
All the time. You know, I love where my office is inside of the football complex, the FOC. And I have a bird's eye view of all the new construction. And I'm always sometimes taking my camera and just kind of shooting it and sending it to different family members and, you know, friends. And I said, guys, take a load of this. Look at it, man, it's awesome. And you just kind of, you're trying to get ready for opening day, because it's going to be, you know, electric. It really will be. And I'm excited. Every time I drive by from the highway, it's just an awesome view. It really is.
Well, Vance, we appreciate your time. Have a great summer and can't wait for September 1st.
Thank you for having me.